Howdy folks, good to see you. Thanks for tuning in to my YouTube channel. Hope everybody had a good weekend. So on my lunch break, heading back home from an appointment, and I got this. Whoa! Well, I guess I need to do better with that. Got this email. Black Dragon. My president, I'll paraphrase it since I can't read it and drive. My president wants to start a national motorcycle club by electing himself as the national president, and thereby he wants to subvert the mother chapter. And it goes on to say that ask how many chapters can a motorcycle club have before it's considered a national motorcycle club, and what has to be done to make it happen, and can the president just appoint himself as national president, so forth and so on. So there's a lot of internal strife going on in this message that I've gotten, that to a greater or lesser extent may or may not have a lot to do with what the club is attempting. And I see this a lot. We get a lot of letters like this. People who are not happy with their president, or they see their president as trying to have these major power grabs or whatever. So we'll talk about a few things for a few minutes here that hopefully will answer some questions. So first of all, I want to say thanks for tuning in. I also want to say I appreciate all the excellent response on the pre-orders for my book Prospects President's Bible. And if you want to pre-order President's Bible, you can get it for $15. You just hit me up on PayPal, and it's jbunchii@AOL.com, and it's $15 postage and handling, everything included in that book. And of course, the instructions on how to do it will be below in the comments. Also, you guys will see me in Kansas City, Missouri next month, August 2nd through the 6th, at the National Roundup. I'll be there to sign autographs or any such thing like that you guys might want me to do. And also sign my book. And of course, my books, Prospects Bible, Motorcycle Club Public Relations Officer Bible, Prospects Bible for Women, and Sergeant at Arms Bible are all available on Kindle and Amazon. All right, so let's get to it. So a lot of folks ask me, well, what does it take to be a national motorcycle club? Well, to be recognized as a national motorcycle club in most areas that I'm familiar with, and every time I tell you guys something, remember that there's 100 different ways that something can go, and I'm telling you the way that I'm most familiar with, that has been my experience. But I say all protocol is local. So what might work in the places where I have motorcycle clubs across the country might not be the same in your area. So these are generalities. Is that a word? These are general considerations. So most places that I know of don't recognize you as a national motorcycle club until you have 5 chapters in 5 different states. So that's the general criteria. 5 chapters in 5 states to be recognized as a national MC. Most motorcycle clubs are not set up in their bylaws to become national motorcycle clubs. So if that's something that you think you want to do, you need to probably start getting your bylaws ready for that. Because if your bylaws were ready for that, then I wouldn't be getting the kind of questions that I'm getting from emails like this that I get all the time. So the biggest questions I get are, how does one go about becoming a national motorcycle club? How does one elect or how does a leader become the national president? And then, of course, the obvious question is, what happens to the mother chapter and the mother chapter's power and influence? And I do answer some of that in my video called When the Mother Chapter Becomes Irrelevant, which I made a couple weeks ago. So and that letter also asked me, how would you know when you should become a national motorcycle club or even open up chapters in other states? So today, in today's motorcycle club world, a lot of guys found motorcycle clubs knowing from the day they found those motorcycle clubs that they want motorcycle club nations. So these guys are coming in day one with the bylaws set up for them to spread these clubs across the globe. But with bylaws, you've always got to be careful when you're considering trying to go to a club like that is not already a national, is trying to set up or is trying to come out of the box or whatever. You got to look very closely at the bylaws and make sure that the bylaws represent the totality of everyone and not just the naked aggression and naked agenda of one person. So that is an important thing to be looking for. Now, when would you know that you should start a chapter in another state? Well, if you start getting people that are inquiring, they're hitting you up from another states. They've been watching you, a lot of times social media. They've been watching on social media, they've been looking at your get down, and they're not really happy with the clubs in their area. And they contact you and say, I want to be down with you. That happens a lot. Another thing that might cause you to want to start a chapter in another area is if you have a member who moves to another area and he's strong enough to start a motorcycle club chapter, a chapter of your motorcycle club. Sometimes guys do not want to give up their MC, and they move to another area and they're strong enough to get one started. And it takes a very strong individual to get a motorcycle club started in any area. Maybe you find a motorcycle club in an area that wants to patch over to you. They could have problems with their organization or whatever, and sometimes these guys will find you out. They'll come find you. It's happened a lot in my case. Or maybe you find them and you say, we could pass these guys over, and this makes both of the clubs stronger, and now we have another chapter. So or maybe you're just looking to expand and you want to go to a new territory and just get started. So there are some things to know about starting motorcycle club chapters in new areas that maybe we can talk about for a few minutes. But those are some of the reasons that you might want to start a chapter in another area. And if you come to the point that you have 5 chapters started in 5 areas in 5 states, then you would be considered a national motorcycle club. Typically it takes 5 members to start a chapter, and they must all have motorcycles, and they've got to approach the coalition or 1%er in their area that runs motorcycle clubs and seek the terms necessary for being recognized in that state or city or town, and there's a whole lot that goes into that. So we're just talking about generalities, just kind of discussing it on the on the surface. I've got to make a whole lot more videos about how to go about getting a club started and the political hoops to jump through, and how to have your meetings, how to sit down with your 1%er or your coalition, and there's a lot that goes to that. I can promise you that it's not easy. I even the easy ones that I've had turned out to be not so easy. And it's just that way. And the more clubs that are coming, and the harder it's getting. And the more clubs that do dumb stuff, they make it hard on all of us. So when you have determined that you're going to start building chapters in other states, then there does become this idea of a president that is kind of in charge of everything. To mother chapters, I warn you, young mother chapters, that in most motorcycle clubs, especially in the beginning, the mother chapter runs everything. The mother chapter president is kind of the de facto national president. And there are a lot of motorcycle clubs that will never let anyone run their nation that doesn't come out of the mother chapter as the mother chapter president. But motorcycle clubs are interesting. Chapters that kind of run themselves. So some guy trying to lord over the chapters always will have a difficult time. So it's best to get your bylaws in order when you're moving this thing forward, so that it's clearly established where the control lies. Mother chapters should be careful, because when you elect a quote-unquote national president, then the national president is the person that is in charge, and the mother chapter could actually wind up losing influence, especially if the national president isn't from the mother chapter. So that's something to consider. So can a president or a founder designate himself as a national president? Well, I don't know if they can. I know a lot of them do it. I say people can get away with anything you let them get away with. So what really should happen is the clubs would come together, these chapters would come together and determine which president of them would be the person best suited to lead the club. In a perfect world, that would be how that probably should happen. But it doesn't always happen that way, and a lot of times people's feelings are hurt. So can a guy with 2 chapters be considered a national president? Well, I imagine you could call yourself anything you want to call yourself. So yeah, I know folks with 2 chapters that have a national president. Are they considered a national MC by coalitions and boards across the country? Probably not. But hey, you got to start somewhere. And a lot of the rules that go down today are not the rules that went down when a lot of older clubs started off. They might have had only 2 chapters and had a national president. So I suppose that when should I have a national president? Well, you should have a national president about the time that your MC feels like it's ready for that. And so will people, other MCs, consider me a national MC? Well, I really don't care a whole lot about what other MCs consider. I'm really concerned about myself and my brotherhood. And if you feel like you've got 3 chapters and you need a person that's heading those 3 chapters up as the representative, the figurehead, really doesn't matter much what you call him. That's the function that he's serving. And so what you want to do is back him and whatever name you're going to give him, and help him get the MC established in as many territories as you think that you want to be in. Being in a national motorcycle club is difficult in many aspects. Now you have people representing your patch that you don't see every day. And those people may or may not have the same ideas that the mother chapter or the leading chapter. They might not share exactly the same ideas and the same values. And the other problem is you have people in different areas of representing you that can get you in trouble in your area by misrepresenting you in their area. So putting together a national motorcycle club means you have to be really strict with expectations and how people are going to be treated according to the bylaws, and how much autonomy those clubs are going to be allowed. So you got a lot more people representing your stripes than just the brothers in your local chapter. It also means that you have to be a lot more diligent yourself. You got to be more careful. Things that you say in Atlanta could affect somebody in Houston. Skirmishes that you get into in North Carolina could result in a skirmish for one of your brothers in Florida. So the we factor becomes much bigger when you start adding chapters to your MC and adding layers of bureaucracy. Also, the politics become crazier. You see a lot of elites who will get together from chapter to chapter to chapter to form this sort of elitism society within your MC. You can see a lot of divisions, a lot of club splitting, a lot of all kinds of crazy things going on. Maybe a chapter wants to walk away with your colors. So once again, I say your bylaws have to be really strong. A lot of people do them after they run into the trouble rather than before they run into the trouble. National motorcycle clubs are really cool because they give you brothers all over the country. So if you land in Las Vegas, you got brothers there you can go hang out with. You've got a fraternal order of brothers from coast to coast when you finally get that big. And it is an amazing feeling that there are people you don't even know personally, never met, but you are brothers with them. And as soon as they see you and you see them, it's like, hey brother, so much stuff is broken down in terms of, I don't have to spend 60 months trying to get to know you before I trust you. We already have been through the same things. We wear the same patch. We have a level of trust between us already, which is just an amazing feeling. Absolutely cool. But when you're trying to start a motorcycle club chapter in another area, when you go to that area, be low key. It's the best way I can put it. I don't know of any area that wants another motorcycle club there. I don't know of any area that is just so by golly happy to see another MC bring another chapter to their area. So it's almost going to always be met with dissension and turbidity and turmoil. So come in lightly and wait till after you get your crew together and your guys as one, and everybody knows how to ride together, and everybody's ready to go represent at the same time, before you come running into town, running your big mouth, and tell everybody that you're getting ready to start a motorcycle club up and nobody can keep you out of there and all that old kind of crap that just really gets you shut down before you ever even get started. So be quiet. The deal is done by the doing, not by the talking. You know what I mean? So it's not about what you can talk, it's about what you can do and what you follow through with. So that's my bit on starting chapters and trying to get a national motorcycle club started. There's a lot more to it. I just wanted to run through it briefly because of that text message I got. The biggest things to know are you need 5 chapters in 5 states to be considered a national motorcycle club, but it doesn't hurt to put your house in order while you're trying to get there. Know that no matter what, there's going to be a whole lot of people and a whole lot of organizations, a whole lot of coalitions, a whole lot of clubs that are not going to want to see your MC come to an area. I have had great receptions in some places, and just absolutely terrible reception in others. But it's like anything, if you want to work hard at it, you can make it happen. Respect and protocol are always the best ways to go. And always make sure that everyone has the right things that are necessary. Don't take any shortcuts. If somebody doesn't have a bike, they can't get in. If somebody doesn't have the right things, they can't get in. You don't know these people, and that's another thing. You got to take your time to get to know these people that you're considering putting your rags on. So don't be just so happy and so rushing to get another chapter that you don't know who these are. I had a situation where the people that had come to me had so much trouble in their hometown that no other clubs would take them. So they decided that they would try to reach out and start their own club, and it was like an absolute no-go in terms of the people that would bless them wouldn't have blessed them. So if you're trying to run with people that you don't know, what the heck is going on with this thing? You're trying to run with people that you don't know, and you don't know these people. So you have to prospect in chapters like you prospect in prospects, and they have to go through a rigorous vetting, because you don't know who you're getting. I've gone into towns to start chapters, and these people are in a civil war with somebody, and that civil war becomes your civil war. I've seen civil wars between families. One family goes and gets another motorcycle club started, and this family wants to start a chapter of your motorcycle club, and they're at war with each other, trying to cut each other's throats. And you have no idea that you're walking into this garbage until you get into it. So vetting is important. Getting to know the people that you're trying to add to your nation. Some folks try to make these chapters, these motorcycle clubs, go so quickly. Like, you'll see a chapter of 100 people in a motorcycle club walk out, and they want to come and be your motorcycle club. And it's like, there's so much crap involved. I seldom see those things work out well. So I always like to start my chapters with completely new people that have never been involved. We don't always get to do it that way, but we would prefer to deal with people that we can mold rather than people that have been molded with negative with negative experiences and poor practices. Okay, so that's it. I've got to my lunch is over, so that was a brief discussion. Do I have any questions? No questions. Outstanding. Okay, so that's my take on that, and of course I'll have a lot more in-depth videos on this subject, but hopefully that answered a few questions. I'm Black Dragon, and as always, have fun, ride safely, and get skinny.